Wow, it's actually real. The adventure begins right here.
Ryan was a curious 13-year-old boy who loved mysteries more than anything else. While other children spent their weekends playing games, Ryan enjoyed exploring old buildings and collecting unusual objects. He believed every old item had a hidden story waiting to be discovered. One rainy afternoon, Ryan wandered through a narrow street he had never noticed before. At the end of the street stood a tiny antique shop with a faded wooden sign. The shop looked abandoned, yet a warm light glowed inside. Inside the shop, Ryan noticed hundreds of strange objects. Ancient books, dusty paintings, and mysterious clocks covered every shelf. Then his eyes stopped on a beautiful golden pocket watch resting inside a glass case. The old shopkeeper slowly approached Ryan. "Be careful with that watch," he said quietly. Ryan smiled and asked why. The shopkeeper replied, "Because it doesn't tell time, it controls it." Ryan laughed, thinking it was just a clever sales trick. That evening, Ryan sat in his room examining the watch. Strange symbols were engraved around its edges. When he turned the crown slightly, the symbols began glowing with blue light. Suddenly, a powerful wave of energy filled the room. Ryan rushed to the window. Outside, everything had stopped moving. Cars froze in the middle of the road. People stood perfectly still. Even birds remained frozen in the sky. It was as if the entire world had become a photograph. At first, Ryan was scared. Then he realized he could move normally while time was frozen. Carefully, he walked through the silent streets. The city felt strange and empty. For the first time, Ryan understood that the watch was truly magical. When Ryan returned home, he noticed something new. A hidden compartment had appeared inside the watch. Inside was a tiny silver button he had never seen before. Curious as always, Ryan pressed it. The moment he pressed the button, bright blue energy exploded from the watch. A swirling portal opened in the center of his room. The portal looked like a spinning tunnel of stars and light. Ryan's heart raced with excitement. Taking a deep breath, Ryan stepped through the portal. Everything around him spun faster and faster. Moments later, he landed on a platform high above a giant futuristic city. Flying vehicles filled the sky. Gigantic towers stretched into the clouds. Ryan had traveled 100 years into the future, but he had no idea that an even bigger mystery was waiting for him there. Ryan stepped out of the portal and stared in amazement. Towering glass buildings touched the clouds, and flying vehicles moved silently through the sky. Giant digital screens floated above the streets. It looked like a world straight out of a science fiction movie. As Ryan walked through the city, he noticed robots helping people everywhere. Some cleaned the streets, while others delivered packages. Everything seemed perfect, but the city felt strangely quiet. Ryan expected to hear laughter and busy conversations. Instead, people looked worried and distracted. Many buildings were closed, and giant warning messages flashed across public screens. Ryan entered a public information center. A digital newspaper floated in the air. The headline read, "Time Crystal Stolen, World in Danger." The article explained that a powerful time crystal had disappeared from the time vault. Without it, the balance of history was breaking apart. Scientists had only a few days to solve the mystery. Suddenly, Ryan saw something impossible. A medieval castle appeared between modern buildings. Moments later, it vanished. Time itself was beginning to collapse. Ryan realized he could help. His magical watch allowed him to travel through time. If anyone could find the crystal, it was him. The watch transported Ryan thousands of years into the past. He arrived beside the Great Pyramids of Egypt. Ancient symbols on a stone tablet pointed toward the first clue. Deep inside a pyramid, Ryan discovered a secret room. On the wall was a strange symbol identical to the one on his watch. The symbol revealed a message. The crystal's path begins where kings once ruled. Ryan quickly wrote the clue down before returning to the future. His next destination was a medieval kingdom. Massive stone walls surrounded a grand castle where the second clue was hidden. The chamber opened, revealing a crystal map. It showed a floating city far in the future. Ryan knew that was where he needed to go next. Ryan traveled to the year 2200. High above the clouds floated a magnificent city powered by advanced technology and glowing energy crystals. In the heart of the floating city, Ryan finally found the person who had stolen the time crystal. A hooded figure stood alone beside a glowing portal. But something about him didn't seem evil at all. Ryan carefully approached the mysterious thief. "I didn't come here to fight," he said. The thief slowly removed his hood. To Ryan's surprise, he was only a few years older than him. His name was Lucas. Ryan carefully approached the mysterious thief. "I didn't come here to fight," he said. The thief slowly removed his hood. To Ryan's surprise, he was only a few years older than him. His name was Lucas. Lucas explained why he had stolen the time crystal. In the future, scientists had predicted a terrible disaster. A massive energy explosion would destroy entire cities. Lucas believed taking the crystal was the only way to stop it. His plan had worked at first. The disaster was prevented. But removing the crystal had created a much bigger problem. Time itself was breaking apart. Now every era was in danger. Suddenly the sky turned dark. A giant crack appeared in the air. Blue lightning burst from the opening. Something terrible was coming. From the crack emerged a gigantic creature made entirely of energy. The time beast fed on broken timelines. Every second it grew larger and stronger. Ryan and Lucas realized they could not stop the creature alone. For the first time they worked together. Their only hope was restoring the time crystal. The boys rushed toward the time vault. Behind them, the time beast destroyed parts of the floating city. Buildings disappeared into glowing clouds of energy. When they arrived, they discovered the time vault was damaged. The crystal could not simply be returned. It needed a special key. Ryan remembered the symbols he had collected from ancient Egypt and the medieval castle. Together they formed the missing key. Everything suddenly made sense. Ryan placed the key into the vault. The chamber opened. Lucas carefully returned the time crystal to its rightful place. A brilliant wave of golden light exploded across the sky. The floating city shook. Across history, damaged timelines began repairing themselves. The time beast launched one last attack. Ryan raised his magical watch. The crystal and the watch began glowing together. A powerful beam of light struck the creature. The time beast slowly disappeared. The crack in reality closed. Ancient kingdoms, modern cities, and future worlds returned to their proper places. Time was finally stable again. Ryan said goodbye to Lucas and Dr. Elena. Then he activated the watch one final time. Moments later, he was back in his bedroom. Outside, the sun was just beginning to rise. Ryan smiled and placed the watch on his desk. Suddenly, he noticed something strange. A new symbol had appeared on its surface. Below it were 3 mysterious words. Next destination, unknown. Ryan looked out the window and grinned. His greatest adventure might still be waiting. True courage is not having power, it's using that power wisely and taking responsibility for your choices.